Speaking of Zay, let's get right into his team, the Los Angeles Rams. Zay was really high on these Rams yesterday as Matthew Stafford and the Rams make his debut, and they defeat the Chicago Bears by a final score of 34-13. And really, we just wanted to have some quick-fire, rapid reactions to this one, Will. I'll start this one off. I think Sean McVay is a star, man. Like, he is just an elite coach, and I think in a similar way to Kansas City, when you combine, like, Reed and Mahomes, like, elite coach with elite quarterback, that team is just so hard to beat. I do think that Matthew Stafford is an elite talent. Like, he went number 1 overall in his draft for a reason. He has a great arm, and I think he's a guy that is more motivated than ever before. I saw him at Calvin Johnson's Hall of Fame speech, and I thought to myself, Matthew Stafford must be thinking, like, if I put together a nice 3-4 year run in LA, maybe win a Super Bowl with Sean McVay, which is entirely possible with this team, maybe Matthew Stafford could be sitting there in a gold jacket one day. And I do think that he had a great run in Detroit. Obviously, it didn't result in many wins, but Detroit is football purgatory, man. That is a place where no one, including Barry Sanders or Calvin Johnson, could win. And he goes from there to LA, a place where Sean McVay last year was out here winning games consistently with Jared Goff. Like, that guy led Jared Goff to a Super Bowl. And when you consider the talent around the quarterback position with the Rams, Cooper Kupp balled out last night. Robert Woods had a phenomenal catch. I think Van Jefferson is a player to watch going forward. Darrell Henderson even, that was a great performance, giving Ram fans some confidence at running back. And we know with Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey just how good that defense is. I mean, Jalen Ramsey, man, like, he very slowly is reaching, like, peak Revis level. Like, he is just phenomenal, so fun to watch. And I was just really impressed with the Rams, man. Like, I talk about threats. Like, I think they are the biggest threat to the Bucs in the NFC right now. I mean, they're a phenomenal team. They're well coached at 1-53. They have a lot of top end talent, and I may just think we're going to see it in Week 3. The Rams and the Bucs could be on a collision course to see who is that top dog in the NFC. I can't wait for that game as the Bucs will head to LA. But I do think that Matthew Stafford sometimes will get the raw end of the stick as a quarterback that didn't win much in Detroit, and I totally understand it. I think if you're an elite quarterback, you should be able to elevate your team to at least one playoff win over the course of 9 years, no matter who's on your team. But at the same time, I just think his situation right now in LA is so good that with his talent combined with McVay's coaching, it's going to be hard for them not to win. I was super impressed with the Rams. They looked like a real contender to me last night. They really did.
Zach, you talked about the Rams. Listen, I'm going to get to the Rams in a second, but I want to talk about the Bears here because it's very frustrating watching this Bears team. And it's to the point where I would rather go to the Bronx Zoo and watch 2 bears slugging it out. That's what I would rather do than watch this Bears team. And the sad and frustrating part about that is that this Bears team has popcorn, sit on your couch appeal. They got the spitty wide receivers that are great. They had the great running back in David Montgomery that was in his bag yesterday. They had Marquise Goodwin. They had Darnell Mooney that can get behind a defender like that gave Jalen Ramsey some trouble last year. They have those talented guys, Allen Robinson. The list goes on. Commit. Jimmy Graham can win some ball-on-ball contested jump, here and there too. They have the talent and the popcorn on your couch appeal, and they have the quarterback to do it in Justin Fields to lead it. But we still get that stale, old-fashioned, hard to watch, read a book offense, bro. Literally. We get that all the time, and it's unfortunate that these cats is still on prime time. It's unbelievable. Listen, Andy Dalton is not the answer. He's really not. It was a lot of dink and dunk passes. It wasn't anything special. No explosiveness. I know my cousin, the Freddie System, shout out to him. He talked about explosiveness on the show and how he likes explosiveness. Well, cousin, did you watch that game last night, brother? Because I know you didn't enjoy that game. No explosiveness, well, from the Rams side probably, but no explosiveness from the Bears side of things. There was a 4th and 5, I believe, and he throws to Allen Robinson, Andy Dalton here, contested Allen Robinson, right? A guy that was perfectly defended when you had Commit streaming across the middle of the field wide open. Your tight end, 4th and 5. No, he didn't see him, right? Stevie Wonder to the fact. Stevie Wonder to the wonder. It's unbelievable, man. And you see Justin Fields come in for some gadget plays. Zach, I'm going to use your favorite line, your famous line. It's not 1999. Black quarterbacks are not gadget guys only. Patrick Mahomes. The list goes on. Lamar. Come on. He got to start, bro. The offensive line didn't play that bad compared to what we saw the last couple of games of the preseason, but they still was bad, right? They have to allow Justin Fields to command this offense and take this offense over and create more explosiveness because you have the personnel. As soon as Justin Fields get into the game, he's going to make this team a playoff contender. But for right now, they're not. As far as the Rams, and I would just let you get the rock after this, I agree. They probably are the biggest threat to the Buccaneers. They probably are. I didn't want to jump to the hype, to start. I kind of was hype on them over the summer. Then I lowered the pace down because I'm like, a new system, Matthew Stafford is going to take time. But yesterday, I don't know if it was because the Bears defense was so bad or because the Rams are so good. But something got to give. Something is the truth. It's out of the Rams are that good when Matthew Stafford, in which Sean McVay is seeming like he wants to open up his playbook and he's this great, King Zulu of the nation, all right, and coaching, or it's the Bears defense that lost Kyle Fuller, that literally had Cooper Kupp streaming wide open. It's one of the two. But either here or there, I'm still going to give the Rams their due diligence and their respect, in which they are one of the teams to look out for in this NFC race.
Well, the game last night aside, dude, what's your feeling on the McVay-Stafford combination? Do you think watching McVay leading the team over the last couple of years, we kind of know what Jared Goff is at this point. He's an all right quarterback when he has help around him, but McVay was able to get to a Super Bowl with that guy, and I think anyone who watches football could see, Matthew Stafford from a just talent perspective is a bigger upgrade over Jared Goff. So when you combine that with the talent around this Rams roster, naturally, how do you feel about this Rams team?
I'm glad you throwing me these lobs for these questions that I want to answer on the show. Great question. I'll say it like this. When I looked at Jared Goff, right, and bear with me, Zach, I'm going to get to your point. When I looked at Jared Goff yesterday, he didn't look bad at all. Obviously, he made some mistakes, but he made some good. He did better than what I thought, right? He looked good. Now, you have Matthew Stafford, who obviously we all know is the talented quarterback out of the two, between him and Jared Goff, and I guess they wanted that upgrade of talent and to open up the playbook a little bit more with some big plays down the field. And on paper, that makes you a lot better. However, talent is talent, right? And we all know talent is how you win, but is that talent enough for the Rams to be even better? Probably. Who knows? He might be the one that gets them to the hump. But like I said before, on previous shows that we did from last year when this move was made, and like I said in the chat earlier today, in the Huddle chat that we got, is that I don't know if Matthew Stafford has the experience in the playoffs and the leadership in the playoffs, 0-3 in his playoff career, and then all of a sudden be this Super Bowl winning quarterback. I don't know. He has the talent to do it, but I'm not sure if he has the experience to do it. So I think this team is going to be better than they were with Jared Goff. That I do. But I don't know if that means Super Bowl again. Because even though they made the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, that's not how inflation works. The league gets better. So you're not competing against yourself. You're not looking yourself in the mirror and saying, if I be better than myself that year, I'm going to be a Super Bowl champion. It don't work like that. The other teams have gotten better all across the league. So even though Matthew Stafford is an upgrade, and I will co-sign that, and this offense is going to be more dynamic with Matthew Stafford at the helm, that doesn't ring Super Bowl. It could, but it's not guaranteed.
So much talent on this team, and I just loved their camaraderie. And early in the game, Andy Dalton actually had a good drive, and then turnover 2 plays later, Stafford bombed to Van Jefferson. With that new stadium and the fans in the crowd, both football teams in LA, man, I can't wait to see what that Charger crowd looks like next week against the Cowboys when they have their home opener. I think LA could be a place where football is looking good right now. I'm excited about this Rams team.
Everything you said was correct. I mean, we all know Matthew Stafford to be Mr. Fourth Quarter. That's kind of his name. He arrives in the fourth quarter of games. So in crunch time situations, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't think Matthew Stafford could do it. He probably can. But the thing about what makes this interesting about this Rams team is that a lot of people want to go all in with the Rams and so they can be the one to say, I told you. There you go. I predicted it. It was Matthew Stafford, and I'm just not that guy. I admit they're talented. They probably could do it. But I'm not going to jump the gun here because I still want to see how he goes up against these great teams and these great quarterbacks in this division. That NFC North was totally different going up against the Vikings. Obviously, we all know the Packers, and he lost to the Packers a lot. But going to the Vikings and the Bears, those are not teams that scare you. This Cardinals and Seahawks and 49ers team, they're scary looking right now. So let's, obviously give Sean McVay his credit, put some respect on Matthew Stafford's name. It's well deserved. But let's see him in this division and how he thugs it out with the level of competition stepping it up from where he was in the NFC North. So if he can show that he can beat these quarterbacks during the regular season, well, why not? Why not? Why can't they go to a championship, right? We all know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is lethal and explosive, but why not? They have the defense. They have a better defense than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Why not?
Yeah, it's a real opportunity for the Rams, no doubt about that. I wanted to speak about the Bears a little bit before we move on. I agree with you with the point with Justin Fields. I think that Matt Nagy just probably didn't want to start him in that game last night on Sunday Night Football in front of that offensive line. It would have just been a tough spot. But at the same time, I just think when it comes to the youngsters at the quarterback position, you need to give yourself as much time and as much film and as much evidence as you possibly can to make an appropriate judgment on these quarterbacks. And I do think that Justin Fields, if the Bears struggle next week at home against the Bengals, no matter who is under center, Andy Dalton or Justin Fields, that is a game the Bears should absolutely win at home. If Andy Dalton isn't getting the job done, I wouldn't be shocked to see Justin Fields come in. It was just that bad last night. Dalton threw one ball more than 15 yards and it was intercepted. I understand the Rams defense is really good. It was a tough spot. But once again, watching some of these quarterbacks yesterday, like Kyler Murray and even Zach Wilson, I know he got hit a couple times, but he made some really nice throws. They were just young quarterbacks dropping dimes yesterday, and it was hard to watch Andy Dalton in that Sunday night game, especially when you saw Matthew Stafford on that other sideline just airing the ball downfield. And this Bears team, man, I don't think their front office really knows what they're doing. I don't really like the way they're handling this quarterback situation, obviously. And as you said, they have some talent on this team. There's no reason for them to be that bad. They were, even though the game was 13-7 last night at halftime, there was never a moment where I expected the Bears to win this game last night. And let's see what happens next week against the Bengals, because the NFC North was a disaster yesterday. All four teams lost. So, hey, the division's wide open. Maybe that's a sign. Once again, if you're the Bears, beat the Bengals next week at home. If you don't, you could be in big trouble.
If you're management, when do you buzz down to Matt Nagy? Because Matt Nagy is starting to nag me, right? Matt Nagy is starting to nag me, and I'm not liking it. If you're management, when do you buzz down and say, Matt Nagy, get Justin Fields in the game right now and get that trash out of there? When do you buzz down? That's what I'm saying, because you don't want to be too far out from the playoff race. And if you're the Bears, you're not rebuilding. You don't have the roster of a rebuilding team. When I look at this roster on both sides of the ball, except the cornerbacks in the secondary a little bit, which showed that they need a little bit work, this is still a championship level squad. So you should be wanting to win a championship this year. Not no rebuilding. No, you don't have a rebuilding roster. So if you're ownership, when do you buzz down and say, Matt Nagy, put Justin Fields in the game, allow him to make some mistakes early? He's a freshman, a rookie in the NFL, rookie terms here. Allow him to make the mistakes, but allow this offense to move better. Allow the offense to fit with the modern day. Once again, Zach, it's not 1999, brother. It's 2021, right? Allow this offense to show some more juice and explosiveness to complement a defense that's been holding it down for the last couple of years. It's almost like somebody paying for you financially for everything. I'm holding it down, right? Chris Brown, August Alsina, I hold you down. The Bears have been holding, I can't sing y'all. The Bears defense has been holding the offense down these last couple of years. Pay them back, brother, with some explosiveness, being able to stay on the field, being able to have a quarterback that can create, that can move with his legs and allow his receivers to buy some time to get open. They need to do that, man. Listen, if you're Andy Dalton, bro, if you love this franchise, you got to go to Matt Nagy yourself and say, listen, I can't do it. Let Justin Fields get in the game. I know it's his time, he says, right? It's my time, but your time is not the timing that the Bears need to be on.
Pay it back. let it